Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Final Fantasy Brave Exodus video, and today we're going to be talking about Yuna and Tidus and someone else. Anyways, so Yuna's STMR is very valuable, extremely valuable, to the point where it's really useful just for the 50% little burst damage, which is far better than Rikku's glove from Kingdom Hearts. So yes, it's true that only Yuna's and Tidus's only get the 500 flat attack in spirit, but it does not matter that much because 50% little burst damage on an accessory is insanely good. You guys have no idea until you get it, and you'll be like, "Wow, it's crazy." Also, the active is quite good as well. I've used it before for boosting evoke Luna Burst like Terra or Luna Freya or someone else, so it's good. It's pretty good. Anyways, base form, not much to talk about, but 50% aquatic and fairy physical and magical mitigation, which I've almost never used for any situation. So the base Luna Burst is decent. 160% undead killer for all allies. That's not tied to anything, so you can just use her base LB for that. 30 times mod boost to all allies for evoke damage. Very good. 170 times light magic damage, spirit scaling. That's the bad part. And so 200% spirit, true shield wield, or TDH, or whatever you want to call it. She has Ifrit, Shiva, and Anima summon, but you're the only summon you're going to use is Anima for a 30% dark amp. That's literally the only reason why you bring her along for that. Don't even worry about the other ones because all they do is resistances, which are not as useful. Brave Shift form. The Grandness has the usual 30% amp and stat buffs and stuff. Only one use, of course. 500% cap. Brave Shift Luna Burst 90 times evoke light evoke damage spirit scaled though one hit. So yes, it's stronger than any other evoker, but there's a huge price tag on that. Asterisk on that. 100% Evo magic, 160% Evo damage, whatever. 150% Luna Burst is decent. So there's a gigantic flaw with Yuna, and they never bothered to fix her, and the reason for that is because it's a joke. The global upgrades are a joke. The EX3 buffs are now at EX2. Big deal. And her staff and peril can be used on turn 1 instead of turn 3. Really not that big of a deal at all. Really not. And she's still incredibly hard to gear, and the reason for that, okay, we need to get this distinction out of the way. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it's really hard to make her good. You can make her have 8,000 spirit, fine, but you need to have evoke stuff, and it's tough because a lot of the evoke gear is based on magic and not spirit. And she wants spirit based evoke damage, but that doesn't really exist. So all in all, she is not worth the premium tag at all. They barely buffed her at all. If they didn't give her any buffs, you wouldn't probably not even notice. All those things being available at EX2 is not that big of a deal, because she should not be a premium unit. Seriously, she should not be a premium unit. She's probably the worst premium unit in the game. Even on the GB version, she is the worst. She is STMR fodder, and in her base form, her Luna Burst is useful, and her Anima Summon is useful. That's the only reason why I ever bring her along. If I ever use her Ray Shift form, I'm using it for a little tiny bit of extra damage in Dark Visions or something, but a little tiny bit extra that I could have not had if I didn't bring her along, but that's about it. She's not going to be your main finisher. No way. Even though it's 90 times, it's just... Well, it's like 1100, 1000, or 110 times, actually, with the STMR buff or her base Luna Burst buff, but still not that good. So I've already decided. I was deciding between 8 and 8.5, and I'm just going to go for 8. She is STMR fodder, she is Anima Summon fodder, she is really just not very good. And I really hate to say that because I love Final Fantasy X. That's why I'm so dramatic. And if you think that she's worth the premium tag, you think that she's a lot better now, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to debate this, because I just don't think she's very good. I don't think she's worth the lapis. I definitely don't. That's why she's getting an 8. And the only reason why she's even getting that far up, because her S-Teamer is very, 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 very good. Like, extremely good. If you get her at an off-banner pool, I would definitely go ahead and get that S-Teamer. If you got some S-Teamer tickets laying around, get that S-Teamer. Seriously. If her S-Teamer was not as good, I think she'd be like 7.5. Anyways, moving on to the main attraction, I would say, is Star Player Tidus, the one I've been hyping up for many months. They have 500% cap, 600% cap at EX2, which is easily obtainable. Grandness boost. He has the grandness boost, the thing that you can only use once, yada yada. Triple cast available. I wanted to point this out because he originally had to work towards getting triple cast. Now he doesn't have to do that anymore. 40 times mod boost to all abilities besides Limit Burst. Sucks that it's not for his LP as well, but it is what it is. It is pretty useful because some of his modifiers get to be pretty strong as a chainer as well. 400% TDH, very good. 150% Fairy Beast Killer, and finally, for the pros, it is this is the SLB. This is the thing that you want to bring him along for. One hit, 135% light and water in peril. Also has 80% defense break, not as big as a deal. 150% Fairy and Beast Killer in that one turn there. And also 120 times mod with 50% defense ignore. Very strong. Very, very strong. So, non-elemental LB, by the way. This is the reason why he's so strong. It's non-elemental, so you can bring him for whatever you want. There are some cons, but it's not really, it's nitpicking really. He has light chaining with no light imbue, fine. Some of his moves got reworked, but they're not all of them got reworked, so some of them are not really worth using. And he would really like to have EX3 for perfection, because he gets that attack at the end as well at EX3. So if you can get him to EX3, you can, if you want to use a red pearl, definitely worth using a red pearl on him. So I would say, I don't remember what I gave him on the JP version, but 9 out of 10, definitely. That's like an easy 9 out of 10, because 400% TDH, that's already off the bat, that's already amazing. And 600% cap if you get him to EX3, that's even better. So now you don't have to worry about either of those two things. Now you just have to gear him for Limit Burst damage and also killers. That's it. So that's incredibly powerful. And his S-Teamer gets upgraded to be helping out with that, but you trade out the non-elemental for water, basically. So sometimes you're not going to be using his S-Teamer for that. The 9 out of 10 for Tidus, extremely valuable, worth getting to EX3. Not very many New Vision Awakenings are worth getting to EX3, but he is. He definitely is. So hope you have a whole bunch of them laying around. Yes, I'm going to review her on the global version. I skipped her on the JP version. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make this as quickly as possible because this is just depressing. So I'd actually go out of my way to make some pros. Her S-Teamer, I didn't even put in the other things. There's other things on her S-Teamer that I didn't even bother putting on. Anyways, here's Riku's review. 80 times bolting strike chaining. 100% machine fairy killer. That's at least okay. Maybe there'll be a Dark Visions boss or a Clash Wolves boss that'll have that combination, I guess. 60% cap, fine. Lightning and light amp. Lightning and amp, and also light amp, and also imbues for those. 160% fairy killer at EX3 because she's not getting buffed. And I didn't bother mentioning her LB because it's just a weaker version of this. 200 times, 27 hit, whatever. All enemies, 12k HP barrier, 75% mitigation, general mitigation for all allies, 20% 20 LB fill rate, 20 LB gauge fill for all allies, sorry. 40k HP, 40k heal over 2 turns for all allies. Okay. She's useful for one trial so far, in the far future. And she has a lot of moves that are extremely outdated, from like Riku's pouch and stuff like that. Like, who cares? And just, if you look at how impactful Riku X2, FFX2 was, where everybody was using her, including me, and now, look at her now, just a stark difference compared to the actual game where she had a lot of interesting things that you could do. Mix, there's no mix at all. No mix. So you want me to give her a score? I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna refuse to give a score. I just don't, because I know it's gonna be low and I just don't want to do it. For this review, I know my integrity might go down a little bit, but I just don't want to give this unit a score. Just look at the unit, just look at it yourself and just decide if you're worth pulling for or not. I refuse to give a score. I'm just gonna move on because it'll just be I'm just gonna be too depressed if I give a score or anything like that. It was already too hard making this slide here for her. So that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you. Leave a like if you'd like to like this video. Subscribe if you're new around here, and if you want to help me out with my car situation, links will be down below in my video description and stuff like that. So thank you guys for watching. Again, peace.